So this trip to Paris in 2018 was very interesting because it came at a kind of pivotal point in my life. At the time, I was really fighting with a difficult bout of depression. And so as a creative, the last thing I wanted to do was to create. But I was in Paris with an old friend of mine who had brought this little camera along for their trip around Europe. And I figured, well, if I couldn't have fun, then maybe I could capture them having fun. So I asked if I could carry the camera around and take shots for the holiday. And slowly but surely, I found out that I actually really love photography, purely by accident. And it wasn't instantaneous, but it was on the second day that we went up to, I think it's a museum. I think it's a museum where you go up all these stairs and it overlooks the Eiffel Tower. And I got these shots. These shots, for me, were the first time I'd ever taken a picture and gone, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty sweet. And it was only when we got back to the hotel, and keeping in mind at the time, I didn't actually have a laptop. So the lobby had this old Mac, like I'm talking old Mac, not like proper big boy Mac, but like slim. It was an older style iMac. And so I'd go down there, and the second night we were in Paris, I loaded these pictures onto like a really simple like photo editing software, and I stayed up till 2 a.m. I was completely just dove into this new world that made me forget about all my problems, made me forget about how dark life was at the time, and it gave me this outlet. And without me realizing it, I was also seeing this kind of path of creativity that I didn't realize existed. And photography didn't really play that much of a role in my life for quite a few years after that. It wasn't until 2021, in the middle of spicy cough season, shall we say, where I actually got it. And it knocked me about real bad. So it was 10 days where I was having an awful time. It sucked. And just like when I was depressed and those days where I couldn't get out of bed, I got a chance to reassess and recalibrate in a way. But one of the things I got out of it was I got to ask myself, what do I want to do moving forward? Who do I want to be? And what's important to me? And photography ended up coming into this. I'd always toyed with the idea of buying a great camera. I didn't have the means to for a few years. But I found myself in a position where I could, and so I did. And it has been unreal. It is honestly like the first time I got involved with music. That moment of like, oh, this is sick. Because when you've been pursuing, I think for me, when I've been pursuing an art form for so long, you get caught up in a mindset of how being a creative should be, or how pursuing art should be. But when I really took on photography, it was a fresh start. It was like a completely different start to what I'd previously been doing. And so, since I now had this camera, I had this new opportunity for creating. But I went into it with a different mindset. Rather than wanting to create to please other people, for the first time I felt like I wanted to create to please myself. And I wanted to create because what I created inspired me to create the next thing. It was this domino effect that I've been caught up with, and I haven't looked back ever since. I think a pivotal moment was shooting my first show, and I came back from that shoot obviously very self-critical. As a creative, that's something that doesn't go away, is how you'll judge yourself. No matter how experienced you are, you'll always tend to judge yourself as if you should be a master when you're still learning. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Just take the journey. It's cool. The journey's fine. But when I load these pictures into my laptop, which I now had as well, sweet, I had the same feeling as when I was in Paris. I was looking at these pictures, just getting totally lost in the idea that, one, I managed to take that picture. That was cool. And then two, as you edit it, and you see different things coming out, and you see in different moments you captured, that was something I've always chased. So every time I shoot a show, it's one of the coolest feelings. I get the same rush out of shooting a show as I do playing one. And that was really big for me. That was a big thing to be able to go, wow, I found this passion that whilst I thought music was going to be my entire life, I've now found this other passion that's taken me down a totally different career route. So this trip to Paris, combined with buying my own camera, gave me something new. And something that music gave me for a long time is purpose. Purpose is interesting. Purpose defines what we do. It's a reason to get out of bed every morning. Now, what's purpose? Purpose is a reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So my new purpose is to create art with my camera, whether that be in the form of creating short films or videos for YouTube or taking pictures. That is where my purpose lies as a creative. That's my creative purpose in life. I'd like to think I've got other purposes, but from a creative point of view, which is what I'm talking about here, that's my new purpose. It's very exciting, this journey, and if you're a part of it, I appreciate it. Any support is always welcomed. to all the people who've sent messages, or even if you just like the video, just watching the video, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Anyways, let me know what your purpose is. It'd be really cool to get that discussion going. And if you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you could like the video, if you could subscribe as well, and if you could turn on the bell for notifications, just so you know when I post another video. We've got some cool stuff coming up. Well, I think it's cool, and I'd appreciate it if you could just pay it a little visit. Anyhow, have a great week, and we'll see you at the next one.